No matter what goal, quest, whatever you want to call it, no matter what of these things that you're on, there's times that things start kind of getting a little slow. You start losing a little bit of the juice. Your tank's not as full as it once was. How do you keep going? How do you keep pushing on so that you can reach that goal, reach that dream, maintain the momentum? Well, I've got 4 strategies for you. And these are motivational fuels like you would not believe. Some of them might even be the actual proper mixture to get you over that finish line. We're going to be talking about that this week on episode 195 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. I'm your host Brian, and I am a certified men's coach that assists men who are just neck deep in the suffering of their life. Men who are going through a divorce, men who are going through their day-to-day struggles. Life can come at us fast. Men can come at us fast too if we're not ready, but life can come at us fast. And sometimes we become so overwhelmed in life and what we're doing that we just don't quite know what to do. And that's what I am here to do. I am here to help men get to the root of what their suffering is, help them step back, do a 5x5, step back and look and see what it is that's actually causing the problem, and help them to get past whatever that problem is, get past what the issue is that's just causing them all the pain and suffering that they have. And relax and find the fulfillment that they're actually seeking. And in each episode, we look and see what it takes to actually change that part of your life, change that suffering, how to actually look at life in a different manner, just shift it just enough to where all of a sudden that horrible thing actually might be a benefit to you. So today, though, wanting to talk about motivation and things that keep you from achieving your goal. Stop reaching for what causes you to just hold up and to slow down and to lose momentum and all that. And what you can actually do to get yourself moving and keep going and to actually reach that goal, reach those dreams, reach those aspirations that you actually have. But before we actually jump into that, I wanted a couple of small announcements. First off, if you're new to the show, hey man, hello, welcome. So glad that you were able to make it. So glad that you are here to see and actually witness. I'm going live through YouTube as of right now, and my mustache is tickling my nose, and it's driving me up the wall. So anyhow, folks, if you're not used to seeing a guy sit there and touch his nose that much, that's what's happening. It's time for me to trim the mustache because it's gotten long enough to where it's curling up into my nose, and it's a bit of a pain. But anyhow, so if this is the first time here, glad to meet you. Glad to have you here. If you want to be able to get this show every week delivered to your phone of choice, you can either, if you're going just like watching it through Facebook, we're going to start making this a weekly thing, whether it's going to be Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, or Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons. That's going to be just kind of up the wall. You'll just have to kind of keep a notice out, and so just smash the like and stuff and however else the kids say. But you can actually like subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and you can get it that way. Or you can, if you're more into the actual podcast stuff itself, you can actually have the podcast delivered to your phone, tablet, computer of choice, whatever it is, however you like to listen to your shows. Each and every week, the show comes out on Thursday mornings, and you can get it that way just by going to relaxedmale.com/subscribe. and you can choose whichever app you like the most, and have the podcast subscribed or followed through there also. So next item of business that I want to talk about is that coming up on October 16th, write this down. I am going to be doing the recording for episode number 200 of the show. We're going to have finally hit 200 episodes coming out. So I've been doing this for a few years. And one thing I wanted to do that was different than what we've been doing in the past, which is normally just me and my fat head talking from time to time, getting somebody in to interview. I wanted to actually show what it's like to actually coach somebody. What it's like for me to coach, so that you have an idea of, am I just going to be in your face being, you're an idiot and I'm not like that. In all reality, I am going to push you on the beliefs that you have, but I'm not going to do it in a confrontational way. And so what I would like to do is just to kind of see what it's like to try out coaching. And to be able to try coaching out, you can actually go to relaxedmale.com/try coaching, all one word. Fill out the form. It's just first name, last name, email address. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to send you a Zoom invite on the Monday before the event. And it's just going to be whoever wants to be coached, sign on up. If you don't want to be coached, that's cool. I'm actually going to be live streaming it onto Facebook, and there you can watch and see what it's like to be coached and see how non-painless it actually is, how it could actually be a good thing to have a mind changing and mind altering, if you want to call it like that. It sounds rather drug induced, but it's, but it's not. It's changing the way your mindset is and mindset altering, line of thinking. So we're going to be looking at that on the 16th of October, and it's going to end up being around 10 o'clock in the morning. Not around. I'm going to actually set up for 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, October 16th. So there's that. You can also, like I said, you can also subscribe to the show and follow it. But anyhow, so let's go ahead and let's jump on into the main topic. And this is, we're talking about motivational fuel, things to get you going. But before we can actually look at what actually gets you moving, we need to see what it is that actually causes you to be held back when you're trying to reach that dream. You're trying to get a business up and going. You're trying to just survive a divorce, or trying to just find a group of men that you can actually start hanging around with and being able to grow with them. Anything you want to do to get advance in your business, advance in your career, get a better house, buy a piece of land, help your son understand life a little better. Just go camping with your son, or take your family out into the woods, go camping or go on a hike, or whatever it is, whatever goals you have that you feel called to achieve. We're going to run into problems in those. Some of them may be fairly easy and you power right through it and you don't even realize it, because it's something that you have a why that is strong enough to short circuit your motivational triad. But a lot of times we have some stuff. There's usually about 5, 6, depending on who it is, what it is. There's 5 very common items that most men run into that keeps them from being able to reach that particular goal, that dream that they want to have. And that's what these 5 things that I do want to talk about have a lot of power in them. And you have to start really paying attention to what your thoughts are, because if you don't, these things can sneak in and sabotage you without you even realizing what's going on. And the big one out of all of these is fear. Fear is the root of everything that is destructive. All right. Cause there's two base emotions. There's love. There's fear. Some people want to say hate is the opposite of fear, but in all reality, no, it's not. It's hate. It's fear. That's the opposite of love. And hate is actually an offshoot of fear. If you don't know, if you're afraid of something, you're not going to like it. If you don't know about something, if you are afraid of something, you're not going to be able to love it very well, or if at all. So to be able to be afraid of something, that fear is going to keep you from reaching your goal. Maybe it's a fear of success. And yes, you can actually have a fear of success. You can be afraid of being successful, afraid of what success will do to you, afraid of what you will become, afraid of what other people will think of you if you become whatever your definition of successful is. To fear of whatever you may have you're afraid that your wife or your girlfriend or your significant other, whatever, will change how they view you because you view that you're going to change too much thanks to whatever success you obtain. And it's a very logical and very normal thing to really fear, is to fear success, because when we hit that plateau, we hit that level of what we deem to be successful, we are not the same person as we were when we first started. There was a lot of climbing, a lot of changing, because what you started out as and what you became are two completely different people. And are you going to lose friends as you try to become successful? Yeah, you're going to have friends who are sitting back and they would rather sit on the couch and be stoned than to get up off their butts. Let the purple haze fade away from their brains so that they can actually see what their dreams are. Because the moment you stop, indulging in whatever substance you're indulging yourself in, whether it's food, alcohol, drugs, sex, or video games or whatever, you're going to be left with nothing but the thoughts as to why you actually were wanting to partake in whatever substance it was at the beginning. So you have to address the fear and realize when you are facing fear, get rid of the fear and you actually open up a path. But fear is a lot like sand in a gearbox. It will mess you up almost every single time. Another problem that most guys will run into is that their goals are not in alignment with who they are, with their values. So if they think that selling is smarmy, if they think selling is taking advantage of someone, you're not going to have a very good business, because to be a successful businessman, you've got to be okay with selling. You've got to actually like selling. And the more you look down your nose at selling, the more you're going to have problems actually becoming successful. Whatever your goal is, if your goal is not in alignment with what your values are, it's going to be a lot like two opposing, or two similar sides of a magnet. You push all you want, you're just not quite going to get there. Another thing that actually keeps men from actually finding their success or losing any and all motivation is when they're allowing themselves to indulge in confusion. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should be doing this or if I should be doing that. I just don't know. There's so many things there that I could do, but I get confused I get confused about like Google Analytics. I look at Google Analytics and it confuses me, so I got to really try to get it figured out. And you start coming up with excuses so that you can stay in the state of confusion instead of just asking yourself, well, what if you did know, what is it you're wanting to look for? And the reason why I use Google Analytics is because I remember when Google Analytics used to be really easy to look at. You could look at it and go, okay, well, people are searching for this and that and these and those. And it just went, and you could tell if something was working, something wasn't working. If particular keywords were being successful, what brought people to your site was, a particular keyword or two. It all worked, and it worked great. And then as privacy became a little more, they wanted to make sure that you bought for particular, packages and things like that. All of a sudden, the really easy information became harder to find, and you had to start kind of looking and doing analytics, being an analytical mind to see, well, is this actually working or is this not working? And for me, as long as I'm still progressing up and to the right, I boiled my confusion down to, am I going up to the right as a whole, and not just, day from day to day to day, because that will give you, that'll give you a rash in no time, because you're like going, we're doing good. Oh no, we're not doing, we're doing great. Oh no, we're not doing good. Oh, it's always up and down, quite literally. So indulging in confusion will cause you to go, dude, this isn't working. This isn't something that it's just too confusing, and will allow you to come up with an excuse as to why you don't need to continue on, why your dream was too dumb to continue. Because why would you want to be confused all the time? If you're allowing yourself to be confused all the time, it doesn't sound like you're making any progress. And because of that, that's when you're going to start losing the momentum. You're going to, okay, no, it's not that important right now, but just because I'm still trying to figure stuff out. And your brain wins out in the fight to keep you safe and secure on the couch in your house, instead of getting outside doing the scary stuff that will reward you with your goals, with your dreams that you want to achieve. But if it can get you to stay on the couch, it wins. And when your mind wins over what your brain is wanting you to do, you're going to stay mediocre. But if you can tell your mind to just hang out you can be safe in the couch, or it can stay safe hanging out in the back of your mind, but your brain has got to go out and do what it needs to do. And if you can get to that point, you're going to stop with the confusion. You're actually going to start thinking more clearly as to what's happening. And whenever a piece of confusing item stuff comes along, you're going to want to figure it out. And you're going to want to figure it out as quickly as possible. You get to the point where you can make a good snap decision and say, we're going this way. And so you decide, we're going to go that way, and you go. You don't sit there for 3 weeks going, I don't know. We could go down this way, or we could go down this way, because either one of them looks like they might be pretty good. You choose one. It doesn't matter. Just choose one and go. Now, the fourth way is when you're just completely out of integrity. You know who you are. You are a man of honor, and you do something that is very dishonorable. Or you have decided to step into something that it's just not really, again, it doesn't quite align with your goals. It knocks you out of integrity. I am an honest man, and all of a sudden you're lying to your clients. You're going to lose momentum. You've got a reason as to why you don't want to continue, because you're not feeling good about who you are. So you have to be in integrity and in alignment. And there's a lot of this, all this has to do with nothing but you. Has nothing to do with anybody else being in your way, because those other people who might be in your way or might not be in your way actually have nothing to do with you. And the last one is when you're just doing stuff that is just too damn easy. If it's not challenging enough, it's not giving you a piece of challenging, a big enough challenge. Not challenging enough. I don't know what I was going to go with that one. But if it's not giving you a big enough challenge, it's easy peasy. And that is especially when stuff we fall into stuff that's real easy when we're doing and I learned about this week on the Monday blog post, talking about, how do they phrase it? External locus of control. Yeah. External locus of control, not locusts like the flying bug, grasshoppers and stuff, but locusts. Sounds like focus, but with an L. Best way. And that is if we see that our actions or our success is generated by the external factors. We're going to choose as easy of a challenge as we can. And yeah, you can get it done, but to get those little bitty challenges taken care of means that you're going to have to take a whole lot more step to get to the big overall overarching view, as opposed to you just taking 3 steps. If you're trying, because it may take you 3 steps to get the small thing done, 3 steps times 100, all right, you got 300 steps. Or you could do 3 really long steps and you would get stuff done all that much faster. So you have the ability to do several different avenues, but to be able to reach your goals, you have to set challenging goals, challenging objectives. And yeah, those UGAs, those are, what are they called? BAGAs, big audacious goals, bags, or big, hairy, audacious goals. You want to do something where the result of it scares you a bit, makes you a little nervous of, oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And you have to start getting all these little weird thoughts coming along. Those thoughts that want to trip you up, that scare your brain, or not your brain, your mind kicks in, and all of a sudden is like, oh, wait, hold it. And start screaming a little bit. 'Cause then you can start seeing what you're actually going to be facing. And when you can block those, you can solve those issues before they actually come up, you're going to be that much further ahead. Now, once you get through all this, you're still going to hit doldrums and things like that, and you're going to need some extra motivation. Now, one of the great strategies of doing motivation, and now we're stepping into the actual strategies here, is Monday Hour 1. And this is a productivity hack type of thing that keeps you motivated also. And I learned this from my mentor, Brooke Castillo. She was my teacher for the life coach school. And she's the one who kind of always talks about Monday Hour 1. And I've got some blog posts over on Monday Hour 1. I'll link to them over at the site. That'll be relaxedmail.com/195. And what that'll actually allow for you to have is a means of scheduling your life out. And it sounds really restrictive to begin with, because you're like going, holy smokes, what are we scheduling out? When I say everything, we're starting with everything. But when I say everything, I mean, that means your family time, your alone time, all the pleasure stuff that you want. You actually start with that. How many hours a week do you want to work? You choose that. Do you want to work 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days? That's all within your grasp. And if it's all within a grasp to a point. If you run your own business, you've got all the time in the world. If you work for old man Schlegel, all right. Well, old man Schlegel's, you and him have got an agreement that you're going to be in there from Monday to Friday. And so each day, you start out on Monday, you decide, all right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is the work areas. And so after 5 o'clock, this is my family time. After 5 o'clock, between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, say it takes you an hour to commute home. After that, it's, you've got from 6 on, you've got meals, playing, kids and homework. If they still do homework, I don't think they do. It seems like homework is kind of going to the wayside these days. So it's got time spent with kids, time spent with wife, time spent with, making phone calls with friends, things along those lines. Schedule all that out, all the time that you want. And then when it gets to the time, once you get all the pleasure and fun stuff taken care of, then you start working on your schedule for the actual work you need to do. So say Mondays between 8 and 10, you're going to do, emails. Say it takes 2 hours to do emails for whatever reason. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, you got those. So you schedule that. get that scheduled down as tight as you can, and you can get more done. So if you're trying to get your own business going and Saturdays is one of your big times that you can actually work, then you might want to schedule 7:00 in the morning. You get up on Saturday and you work for 6 hours on whatever different projects you have to get your business going. And so Monday hour one gives you the formation and the layout to become a better productive person. And that productivity will get you further down the road, which will allow you to actually see the results of your hard work a lot faster. Now, a lot of people go, oh my gosh, I can't be creative just on the drop of a hat like that. Well, that's okay. That's where the second strategy actually will come into play. If you really want to become productive, you can actually use boredom to your advantage, because our brain, our mind hates to be bored. And so if you're at the house or at an office and you need to be writing emails for the next month, and you find yourself looking at Facebook more times than not, then all you can do is write the email. You set it up, set yourself a rule that if you're not writing an email, if you're not feeling motivated enough to write the email, look at a blank wall. Just look at the blank wall. You can't look at your phone. You can't listen to music. You can't do anything other than just sit there and look at a blank wall. Your brain will start looking for something to stimulate it with. And that blank wall is not providing anything. You'll actually start noticing that you're looking at the shapes of the texturing, looking for faces or anything. Your brain will find something to do, and it's not going to be very rewarding until it goes, all right, well, here's a topic we can write about. Yeah. All right. And so we start type. All right. Next. All right. Another topic. I don't know. Let's look on Facebook for inspiration. No, you can't look at Facebook. So you have to sit again and look at a wall, and your brain will eventually go, dude, if we're going to have to work, then let's keep up the work. Cause if we're not, I've got to have to sit there and look at a blank wall, and I get bored, man. I hate being bored. And so you'll actually train your brain to be productive, be creative at the drop of a hat. All because if it's not doing that, it's going to look at a blank wall. It's not looking at the computer. It's not looking at the phone. You're not reading a book. You're not listening to music. You're not listening to people talk. You're looking at a blank wall. And that gets really, really scary, or really, really boring after 10 minutes, even at that long. That's way long. Another thing to do is to take your whole overarching goal. Say you've got a big goal of taking your kids to Six Flags, because God, who's got the $6,000 to go to Disney World? Not to mention who would want to go to Disney World right now. So you want to take the kids to Six Flags over Texas, and you have to. So what do you need to do? Well, first off, you got to find out, can you even afford it? Yes, you can. Okay. So you start planning out, how do we get me and the kids to Dallas or to Arlington, so that we can spend a full day at Six Flags over Texas? Well, how much does it cost to get into the park? How much is it going to cost to get into? You start figuring out, you start breaking everything down. And that is the next strategy, is break everything down into small steps. Instead of going, all right, well, we're going to have to come up with $4,000 and 3 days off to be able to go to Six Flags. That can be quite daunting. It's like, oh crap. Well, how am I going to come up with 3 days? Because especially if you're working for yourself, come up with 3 days of not working, that's 3 days of no income. And that can become really scary in itself. But if you take everything, you break it down into small pieces, all of a sudden you can say, in 1 week, I've got this one done. In another week, I got this one done. In another week, I got this one done. In another week, I got this one done. Those 3 days I need off, I've got my little team that I'm hired in on. First off, I needed to make a team. So I got the team hired. I'm getting the team trained. And then once I get the team trained, they know what they need to do for those 3 days while I'm gone. No, I won't be doing any, whatever it is, X, Y, and or Z. but I've got them trained so that they can get this done while I'm gone, so I can continue to make money while I'm having a good time with my kids. You can do all those little obstacles, all those little what nexts are just steps that you have to take along the way. The last one is track your progress. So many times we get ourselves so focused in on what we're doing right now that we don't see the changes that we make. So sit down. If you think, oh my gosh, I'm lost all motivation. I'm just, is this even worth it? Stop and look behind you and see where you started from. And then look to see where you're at. Have you changed? Have you made any changes in that? Yeah. Beautiful. Sweet. Awesome. Kick ass. Get going. You know you're making progress. If not, then all right. Well, dude, what do you need to change so you can start making progress? Because your brain's going to get bored again, like the blank wall technique. Your brain's going to get bored if it doesn't see a reward for its efforts. If it doesn't see, dude, we're not making any progress here. I've been tromping through this swamp for 3 weeks now and nothing's come out of it. We're just in this quagmire of just day after day. This is getting boring. This is getting old and we're not getting any reward for it. Or are you, and you're just ignoring those rewards? So track your progress. And before you know it, you're going to realize you're over halfway to your goal and the goal's just right around the corner. And all this time you were thinking, oh my gosh, I've still got, 4 more years of this crap to do, whatever this crap ends up being. Motivation is all what you think of it. And you can make any type of success as long as you work at it. And that's all it takes is just a little bit of work. Can you work it out? Can you work through it? Answer is, I don't know. Can you? If you can, awesome. If you can't, that's where coaching comes into play. And I would suggest you come in, take the next step, get coached. If you're going through a crappy divorce and you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing next, come along, man. Let's get coached. Let's find out where you're at in the whole grand scheme of things. And let's go through this. You can find success in everything you do. And the best way and the fastest way to do that is to actually go off and get coached. And I suggest, man, come on, get coached. If you go to relaxedmale.com/195, down at the bottom, you're going to see a little blue box that says the next step. Hit that button, that orange button that says take the next step. Schedule up a time for a consult call. We'll sit down. We'll talk it out. See what you're wanting to, what your goals are. See what you're wanting to accomplish. And as we find out whether we're a good fit or not, we'll start seeing, hey, this is going to be something that's possible. I want you to see what is possible. By the time we're done with this, you're going to have your own damn mind blown because you're all of a sudden surprised. Holy crud. I didn't think that any of that was possible, but it is possible. I will brainwash you into knowing that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Don't listen to what the society has to say because society doesn't know what they're talking about. So guys, I want to thank you very much for listening. If you want to help this show, one of the best things you can do is share this show out, especially if it resonated with you. Something that you know somebody else would love to hear. Share it out on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, whatever it is you want to share it to. Share it out, and let guys know, hey, this is a good show that's out to help change men's lives. You change men's lives, they're going to start sharing it with other men who's going to change their lives. And all of a sudden, instead of us being in a society with a bunch of weak men, we're going to start having a society full of strong men who are dedicated to their families, dedicated to each other, dedicated to society itself, so that we can start calling bull on any of the crap that's being stated around there. And we have a strong, loud enough voice that when they do that, they're going to go, oh, okay, well, this ain't working no more. And let them try something different. So we can, again, stand shoulder to shoulder and go, guess again, bud. So guys, thank you again for listening. Share this out with your friends, family, co-workers, whoever. Let them know about the Relax Male podcast. And guys, I will see y'all next week. Till then, bye.